have a thing that I call blind assumptions. Blind assumptions are things that we've kind of appear to have made our mind up about, but we actually didn't make our mind up about it. It was something that has always been around us, but we never realised was there. Let me read my poem. Blind assumptions. Do you know what blind assumptions are? They're the views and opinions that we grew up with. They were always around us, our culture, and we never really knew they were there. They came from our family, they came from friends, they came from our schooling, they came from our environment. They were just always there. We took them on board without knowing. We naturally voiced them as our opinions. We blindly accept them as being a part of us, even though they never came from us. They act as a barrier to the outside world. We seek out like-minded people, people that are like us, even though they're not. How do we find these assumptions? Seek them out and change. Firstly, we have to go as deep as we can to discover who and what we really are. Then we have to be mindful of everything we think and say, to consider whether is this really our opinion. To discover your blind assumptions can be a shock, but from there on you really can become yourself. If you're mindless, these blind assumptions will be who you are. When you become mindful, you start watching. You start watching carefully. Is this really my opinion? Do I really think this? Because sometimes you just get a flash of emotion and you are it, because that's what you've been brought up to think and judge and say. But actually, it's not who you really are. And when you become mindful, you start to feel uncomfortable. This is not really me. This is not really who I am. And you start to become separate, maybe, from the thinking of the family and culture that you grew up with, that have been around you all the time. And that really can be quite a shock. But I think a completely necessary part of discovering who you really are. Go deep down inside, watch your mind, watch your thoughts, watch your emotions, and start making decisions for yourself. Find those blind assumptions, root them out, dig them out, and you'll become a much better, happier person. Thank you.